Meeting come to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Village Board meeting of April 14th, 2025. Roll call, please.
Stacy?
Here.
Terry?
Here.
Kraus?
Here.
Gardner? Beecher?
Here.
Weisbach?
Here.
Okay, in your packet, you have minutes for the meeting of March 24th. Does anyone have any changes? If not, can we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Roll call.
Stacy?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Diachenko?
Yes.
Weisbach?
Yes.
Okay, does anyone from the audience wish to address the board? Village clerk's report.
Home tax income received in the month of March is $242,118.95. And I just wanted to provide a quick update on election results from the April 1st election. The votes for village trustee were very close, with only 21 votes between the highest and lowest vote totals. The Will County clerk's going to be counting provisional ballots and vote by mail ballots tomorrow. So the official results will be available no later than April 22nd, after the clerk's office has had a chance to canvass all the votes in Will County. And then they will provide us the certifications of ballots, so we'll know officially then. I'll let everybody know when we get that.
And I think last time they actually had it that next day, they had it posted, but it's not official, so they do add the new totals in right away. All right, under my report, I want to have us have the village attorney draft ordinances amending our commissions. So we got a legal opinion that said that an elected trustee cannot serve as an appointed commission member, an appointed voting commission member. So we went back and forth several times, and as a result, we actually have to tweak multiple ordinances. Police commission, historic preservation, beautification, even though we don't use it anymore, if we're going to keep it, we might as well. 4th of July, they all, youth commission, and planning and zoning. That one I think was okay there, but we've changed, there's a section for officers where we changed the zoning ordinance to say that the village president will appoint the officers. But this one has a whole paragraph talking about how the commission themselves elect a chairperson and a vice chairperson, which I don't think we've ever had. Really, that section should probably come out of there entirely and have it taken care of by the zoning ordinance, but we'll see what he thinks. But anyway, so if we could have someone make a motion to direct the village attorney to draft ordinances amending our commissions.
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Weisbach?
Yes.
Diachenko?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
The second thing is we're coming up on where the moratorium on impact fees expires as of May 1st. So I was going back and forth with Dr. Gahan at the school district, and neither one of us knows how the other fees were calculated. So I finally, he came up with an idea to just kind of tweak the fees that we had, but it's still didn't come up with a baseline of how those fees were assessed. So I went into Will County, I dug around, I think I spent 2 or 3 12-hour days digging around to figure out how to deal with the impact fees. So I handed out something to everyone. The Will County, they have ordinance number 11-232, or actually it's a resolution, that gives a list of how many students per school, how many acres that would take. If you divide, multiply, do everything you need to do, it actually comes to 0.028 acres per student. And they multiply that by the value of each acre of improved land, which they came up with 100,000. That could vary by area in the county, but to be honest, even for here, it's probably pretty accurate. So the only variable then to calculate is how many children you believe will be present in each home, depending on bedrooms. which is hugely variable. But I actually had Donna give us an idea of how many residential billing accounts there are in town, and there were 1,602, I think. So I went back to Dr. Gam and asked him, I know his school population was 1,081, but I asked him how many of those are actually in town, because we're not responsible for children that are in the outlying areas. So we came up at the moment with about 834, which is 77% of the school population. So I took that, divided it up, and it came to 0.52 children per residential unit. So to make that fair, I kind of arbitrarily, I wasn't going to put anything in two-bedroom. We don't even let people build two-bedroom homes, but there are probably a few in town. Two-bedroom townhomes, mostly those are senior citizens. However, I actually added a little bit in for that. The ones near me, so there's 5 units where I live. There actually were 2 kids at one point, now there's 1. Next to me, 30 units, 1 kid. So every once in a while there is some impact. The ones on Foxhound Trail, I'm not sure. There's 2-bedroom units on the ends of those. They might have some kids. So I added 2/10 to the 2-bedroom and then started adding 0.35 to each extra bedroom after that. What I was trying to do is make it average out if you did 0.52 for every dwelling unit. So the bottom line is these pretty much average out. It doesn't change the equation for attached single family and detached, which the other one did. I failed to see why a 3-bedroom is a 3-bedroom, why should it be different for detached or attached? So that's kind of where I came up with this. I ran it past Dr. Gam, he was fine with these numbers. So what I was looking for is if you guys want to look it over, think about it for a second, and we're going to need to do something. If you don't want to do anything today, we could do it at the next meeting, but we've got to have him draw up the ordinance. The other thing we talked about was park impact fees, and we haven't had a chance with election for everybody to get together and try to meet with that. So I did the same kind of thing. I went over the list that Matt gave me of parks, not all parks. I took the ones that were in residential areas and came up with an average of maybe 2 3/4 acres for parks, and even that would be pretty big for a subdivision. But I took that, again, did 100,000 an acre, depending on how many homes are per subdivision. We've got some that are closer to 200. I think the one over near the junior high was gonna be over 300, something like that.
Right.
I came up with anywhere between, if you divided it up by homes, maybe 700 to 1,100 per house, so kind of came up with maybe 900 in the middle, and just charge a flat 900 per house that's built to go towards park impact fees. That way we can kind of get something on there, because we've got to get that ordinance sorted out before May 1st, when the moratorium expires. So, I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that?
With this, I know we talked about in meetings we had prior about flip-flopping the water and sewer,
So,
just because we looked at those numbers and they were actually reversed, correct?
yes, well, and at the time, that was back in 1998 or something, or 2000. So I think at the time, we were gonna need a wastewater treatment plant before any of the water system upgrades. Yeah, we always needed that, but we were looking at having to build a new sewer treatment plant. Well, of course, that's done. So we had talked about that. We could flip-flop those, and what we could do is we don't know what kind of documentation Tim might say we need to be able to do that. So what we could do is, when we send in the changes to this, we could suggest flip-flopping those fees, and if he thinks that we shouldn't do that until we pay the engineers $10 bazillion to come up with a study, then we'll deal with it at that point. But otherwise, we can instruct him to flip-flop those fees for now until we have time to go and do a study, if he feels that that's workable.
Because I know when we met, maybe a month ago now, when we sat down with Eric, we're looking at that and sort of how the fee structure had switched and the monetary amount of each had sort of turned. I think we should do something, everyone's go now, because we have to send it to be written. We can always amend it when we get it.
Right.
If we don't send it to be written until next meeting, the first we can get it would be mid-May. If we don't make any changes then, you're talking the end of May, and the sunset's May 1st. So,
Yeah.
I know finance, we've met with some things. The school impact, I know you and I talked several times. You've done, I think, more than your due diligence going through that. And from finance, I'm comfortable with all these numbers, and I think they're accurate and defendable. So,
And that was the main thing, is we wanted it to be defensible, because, you know, even in the ordinance, it says if the builder has an objection to the numbers, they have the right to come back and ask you how you came up with those numbers. And I don't know that any of us would have been able to explain the last numbers that were there. It was like, so, at least these, there's a method, it's written down, it's, you know, it's published. So, well, and we can, when we send it into Tim to do it, we can flip-flop it and tell him this is what we're doing, and if he has an issue with that, we can deal with it, but. All right, would someone like to make a motion to direct the village attorney to draft an ordinance amending the residential permit fees as stated, 900 for parks, and along with the spreadsheet here, and then to flip the water and sewer tap-in fees?
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, any further discussion? Roll call?
Stacy?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Diachenko?
Yes.
Weisbaum?
Yeah.
Do we have to make this effective a date with that motion? Effective May 1st?
Yes.
Will that be when we,
Yeah, and if we just have him put that date on it, yeah, because
okay,
as
I
of
don't know if we
May
have to have
first
a
is
date
when.
with the ordinance.
Yep,
Okay, so.
yeah,
to
because
take
that's when
effect
the
May
moratorium
1st.
expires May first, so.
Okay.
All righty, that is all for my report. Village commissions, 4th of July commission, trustee Kraus.
Thank you. 4th of July is in full swing. The next meeting is May 20th at 6:30 here at Village Hall. Do we know if we have any dates up anywhere yet, like online or? you
Not
still-
yet, I'm working on the village newsletter, which will be going out in a couple of weeks, that will have all those dates on them. When I get that all put together, I will also put it on the village website, so that should be put on there in the next week.
And then for all the trustees, just a reminder, our date that we are sponsoring the concert and we will be volunteering at the beer stand will be July 3rd. So we'll coordinate that as we get a little closer, but keep that in mind. I always have fun, I don't know if everyone else does, but it's always a good time, so. And that's all I have. Wait, no,
No,
the car.
yeah.
Or is that in my report? That's down further in my report, isn't it?
Pardon?
The car's in my finance report.
Okay, under finance, all right, cool. I know, I was about to panic.
I know I saw it somewhere and then I forgot to remember, so that's all I have.
Okay, youth commission, trustee Weisman.
The next meeting will not be held at the usual time, date and time. It will be held on April 22nd at 7:30 here at Village Hall. That's all.
All righty, and then historic preservation, Eric is not here. Did he give anybody any information?
I do. We currently have a meeting scheduled for this Wednesday at 6 PM at the depot. Eric's not gonna be there, Donna won't be there. We're really hurting for membership right now, so we are definitely looking for volunteers. And I'm not really sure if this meeting this week will be held. I'm trying to poll the members right now.
Okay. And it's Wednesday?
It's this Wednesday at 6 PM at the depot.
Okay, committee reports. Finance and Administration Committee, trustee Kraus.
Consider a motion approving the treasurer's report. Donna?
The March month end for the village accounts was $4,940,726.31. The March month end for the commission accounts, $218,071.84. The two combined, $5,158,798.15. The March month end for general, $1,537,141.41. The total of the commission non-AP payments for the month of March, $395,048.78. Starting to pay some of the bills for the 4th of July, the down payment on the fireworks, some printing, so forth. But other than that, just the normal payments. And if no one has any questions, that would end my report.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report as read.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion, roll call?
Weisbaum?
Yes.
Diachenko?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Variance reports are enclosed for your review. Consider a motion approving the list of bills and payroll in the amount of $113,876.87.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion, roll call.
Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Weissman.
Yes.
Budget workshop was held April 2nd, and the budget and appropriation ordinance is being prepared for the public hearing, which is on April 28th, 2025, at the next board meeting. Then consider a motion to approve the purchase of 4th of July Commission raffle car. Do we have a amount? Okay, they're approving.
Did we, remember I sent you those things to print? I do not. Alrighty, hang on, let me dig it up. So, first, well, we had two cars to choose from, vehicle A and vehicle B, because we prefer, the 4th of July Commission prefers not to come out with what the car is until they unveil it little by little. So, the higher bid was the car that they felt would be more sellable. The color is a red color, fully loaded, and it was about $1,200 more than the next lowest car. The next lower car, being the lowest bid, we ended up having to get a legal opinion on this. They felt that it was probably a little less sellable, we may not sell quite as many tickets. Very difficult to, it was two different models, so you can't compare apples to apples. However, when you have to look at the bid spec, the way the bid letter was written was the preferred vehicles would be red, black, or blue. So vehicle B, even though it was the lowest bid, was not one of those three colors, it was white. So it was not the lowest responsive bid, is the way the attorney put it. So we are not under an obligation to take that since it did not meet the bid requirements. So, did you find it yet?
Can I do not to exceed, because I know it's 27 and change.
Yeah, or just, it was it, no,
Or was it 20?
26 even. So say not to exceed 27, it was 26,000 even.
That one was?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the 4th of July Commission raffle car for $26,000.
Is there a dealership that needs to be?
I'd rather,
It's,
can we,
Are we
we
gonna
can,
say
it's drawing, yeah.
Okay.
I'm debating about, because the 26 is what was on the bid itself. I'm just picturing it in my
I
head.
remember there was a contention of that, but.
The other one was
individual
24 or something.
Yeah, the commissioner was not correct with the price, it was.
Right, on the actual invoice, it was 26. Okay. There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Weissman,
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Consider a motion to approve an ordinance of supplemental appropriation, amending appropriation ordinance number 1405, adopted April 22nd, 2024.
So I
You
can
wanna explain
explain
that?
that one, yes. So that is because last year we had finished up the Gold Street repaving to the tune of $160,959 was supposed to be in the budget, and it didn't make it in there, so that's why we're doing that. And then the Village Hall parking lot, in consideration of the $50,000 infrastructure grant, we won't receive those funds in this fiscal year, but we paid for it out of that, so that $52,000 needs to be added to the budget. So that's what those two items are for.
Did you make a motion? Okay. There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Weissman.
Yes.
And I'd like to make a motion to reinstate pass-on credit card fees with ePay. We talked about this at our budget workshop, and I think we're in agreement on this.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Weisbon,
Yes.
Diachenko,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
And then I'd like to make a motion to consider, or to accept the proposal from Midland State Bank. We've had several meetings with them, we talked about this last meeting, did we bring this up? And discussed it, and I think we have all the information. Has anything changed between now and then, Donna or Charity?
No, we received that second proposal from them. The first one was for if we had kept our balances above 5 million. The second proposal, is keeping our balance somewhere between 4 and 5. So did you include that in the packet?
The proposal I didn't.
No, okay. So, there would be fees somewhere in the area of $200 a month. And the interest on our accounts will be 3.9%.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Weisbon,
Yes.
And then lastly, reminder that the public hearing on the proposed budget is at 6 PM on Monday, April 22nd, 2025, at our next village board meeting. That's all I have.
28.
28.
Oh, 28, sorry. I don't know where 22nd came from.
It's like we're off our game tonight or something.
Yeah, Mondays.
Public Buildings and Properties, Parks and Recreation Committee, Trustee DeChenko.
Thank you very much. I'd like to consider a motion to accept the proposal from Budget Blinds to purchase shades for the community room in the amount of $3,731.20.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion?
I was just gonna say with that, I believe we were going to, do that out of the new budget, we'll budget
Oh,
for that. So-
okay.
I mean, at least, they
Sure.
still have to vote on it, but
Gotcha.
we're just gonna put it in the new
It'll come
budget.
out of the 2025.
I got it, okay.
Okay. Any more? Roll call?
Weisbon,
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
And then we're
And then-
tabling the other?
Yeah, we were gonna table the motion for the bid package for the fencing from Classic Fence till the next meeting.
There were some items that came up
Yeah.
last week, we had some questions on, so we wanna get those answered first.
Okay.
And then Chief, did you have any new updates since the last meeting about the building?
We asked for, or we got three companies come out to give us an estimate on the deep cleaning to get it, so we can show the building off. And hopefully we'll get the bids back quickly. They're gonna get the trailer out this week, and then they may start asphalt as soon as next week, possibly the week after. And once the asphalt is done, it's just some minor things, and, we're gonna have to coordinate Comcast and our techs and all that, but if you're asking me for an estimate, I would say probably mid-May would be, we'd have a move-in date of mid-May, or possibly later, depends on, delays, but, it's looking really good. I'm really happy with the way the building turned. I know Todd King thought the same thing.
Very nice.
Joe, I think you've all been there, so it's looking really good.
All right, thank you, and that concludes my report.
All right. Planning, Building and Zoning, Trustee Terry.
Oh, thank you, Aaron. Building Department monthly report is enclosed for your review. And, the next PZC meeting is scheduled for Thursday, April 24th at 7 PM. That concludes Eric's report.
Public Safety Committee, Trustee Terry.
Thank you, okay. Police Department's monthly report is enclosed. Chief, anything you'd like to add?
No.
Okay. And EMA monthly report is included. Director Hyman, anything you'd like to add?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Code Enforcement's monthly report is also in there. And I would like you to consider a motion to purchase a new copier for the police station, not to exceed the amount of $6,200. Be looking for a motion.
So one for 6,200.
It's one, yes. So we originally were thinking it was gonna be two, but we're working through, we're working through blinds, so.
Yeah.
Splitting it with window coverings. Yeah.
And the one is centrally located, so nobody has to walk far.
And we're gonna
Or
use,
everyone has to walk equally far.
Yes.
we're looking to use one at the old station as well, to put in the patrolmen's room, so.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Discussion? Roll call?
Did you say amount, 6,200?
6,200.
For one copier.
Okay. Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Dave
Yes.
Weissman?
Yes.
And that concludes my report.
Okay. Public Works Committee, trustee Stacy.
Thank you, Mayor. The Public Works monthly report is enclosed for everybody's review. The Water Department monthly report for January and February is enclosed. Water billing register for January and February is enclosed. And the wastewater treatment plant monthly report is enclosed for everybody's review. And that's all I have.
All right. Economic Development Community Relations Committee, trustee Weisbon.
Thank you. Beecher Rec opening day is on April 26th. And discussion of the use of Waltonstead Park for Mantino Soccer Youth Association.
Yeah, so, they used to use, Lions Club Park, but now that part of that has been purchased, part of the walking path is now not ours. The lower basin is still available, but, since we're putting in some new soccer nets and things at Waltonstead, we figure it's a good opportunity to move over into that section. There's parking nearby, it's a brand new field, and there's nobody that's gonna need it during that time, so we emailed them and, asked them to move over to that location. And we'll put something out about it. I know we usually have a porta potty over at Lions Park. We may remove that. I mean, playground equipment is gone. We're down to a C-shaped walking path. So we may move that, or maybe have two of them over at Waltonstead, since we'll probably have more kids over there now. So,
And are we gonna keep any of the goals up? I know I went over there, like the two larger ones are pretty much look like
Yeah, they're,
You need
shot.
to-
They're brown, they're rusted.
yeah.
I know
But
some of the
they have
smaller
Two
ones.
sets of smaller ones that look usable.
Yeah, I know from coaching teams there last fall, I know the two goals that I would frequently use that, well, as of last fall, they were fine.
Can we leave those there, just so it's something for the community still, or put those over there, but maybe remove the two that look like it's gonna give someone tetanus?
Yeah.
Yeah, because my only
For sure.
concern is Lions Park is significantly bigger than Waltonstead, area-wise, isn't it? Or no?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it?
Mm.
It's, I don't think they'll
Oh,
be
okay,
that far off,
okay.
Nah.
so.
Yeah, as long as there's enough space out there for, 'cause I know sometimes you'll get 5 or 6 teams practicing all at once, so.
Yeah, I think the
how
goals
many,
are set up
how
smart.
many sets did we order? How
Six.
many sets of goals?
Three.
So
Three
six
sets.
goals,
Well, oh, no,
three
or
sets.
6 total, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6
2
goals.
full-size ones and then 4 smaller ones.
Yeah. So theoretically, I mean, you could have 6 teams out there practicing at
Yeah.
once. Just gonna have to figure out the configuration, gonna have to Tetris it a little,
Yeah.
once they get out there with the goals, but, I think we can set it up for a full field and maybe 2
Yeah,
halves
and
or
then
2 quarters,
Two,
something
two
small.
or something on the sides, because very rarely is one team using the whole field.
Yeah.
Okay. That's something we can look at when we meet on Monday and see what goals are, if we want to swing over to Lions Park real quick and.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll see, I mean, if we have to put something over there, it's just that if we're gonna have, Mantino, then we may as well move all of them instead of having 2 different places. I know some of them.
Well, the younger kids will still be at Fireman's?
Well, those, we've got smaller ones out there too, we figured we could move everybody out. Cause I know with Fireman's, a lot of times, they were saying that is a crunch between, kids playing ball too.
Weren't those
Because they
goals-
want the commitment, pardon?
Weren't those goals out at Lions Park owned by the soccer, the Mantino Youth Soccer, were they ours?
No, they may be MYSA's.
Cause I always thought that they were owned by them and they removed them a lot of times in the winter in the past, cause I remember Debbie Van Alden.
Oh, yeah, we did used to do that years ago.
So I don't think they're ours.
Okay.
We used to
I
store
do
them
they stay there now, or
Mhm.
I haven't seen it moved in years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
are they the ones that are rusty?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the big rusty ones, you wouldn't want to move so big.
I think the smaller ones are underneath the stage, aren't they, or what are they, like the ones that go firemen's, like the small ones?
Yeah.
Are those underneath the stage? They put them, those I know they take down and put somewhere.
I don't think they're under the stage, yeah. I think they're just north of the splash pad, all kind of piled together.
All right, to be determined.
Yeah.
We have time for the fall season.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they don't want it until August, so
Yeah.
we've got time to work it out.
Any other discussion on that? No? All right, that concludes my
Probably,
report.
but yeah.
For right now.
Yeah. Any old business to come before the board? All right, we need a motion to adjourn to executive session to review minutes of previous executive sessions. And there will be a motion when we come out.
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and a second, roll call?
Weisbach,
Yes.
Diachenko,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.